Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. We're going to continue our little mini series on moving snakes, which is graduation day, right? So we should have we can't have champagne, they're not 21. But we should have a celebration. We're not going to. But what we're going to show you now is those that we've moved out of fb20s, which is a square one's about this deep, kind of like that, up to the fb40s, which are the same length as the 70s, but just narrower. So the fb40, before I get started, what do we use that for? This is a tub where our males typically stop getting upgraded. There's a few exceptions to that, but mostly adult males stay in fb40s. Some of our smaller adult males never get out of an fb20 because they don't really need to. Also, fb40 is the smallest tub we breed in for our smaller females. I prefer breeding in fb70s. I think having more room for two snakes is a good thing, but we do some production in the fb20s currently this year. I've got a few that we're not moving right now because they're gravid. We do not move gravid snakes. Listen to me. Do not move gravid snakes. You got it? Don't do it. So we have some that we'll move later, which would be a pied, possible yellow belly. She's gravid from another pied. We have a firefly that's gravid from our calico. And we have a pastel xanthic, possible yellow belly, that's gravid from our pastel xanthic that we're not moving yet, and a pastel freeway that is also gravid from an inchy ivory pastel, actually. So we'll move all of those, but maybe the pastel xanthic post the time they lay. And that's just due to size. We might leave that yellow belly pied alone too, but probably not. The rest of those will move up. But they're not moving today. So let's go ahead and show you what we moved today, and then we'll go over to Patreon when we're done, and we'll talk about something really cool that I'll figure out while I'm talking about this. Yeah, and also things you learn. So here's a little pro tip for you. Is you'll start to see on some of our older stuff, like here, it says 180905. It says toffee. It doesn't mean it's a toffee. That's what's breeding to it. This says 181007. Okay, some of these just have names of what they are. That's because I didn't produce those. Everything I produced has a thing. So what happened? This says 71301 fire yellow belly head xanthic female. A lot of information, right? I started getting real cheap and thinking, well, I don't need to type all that. So in 18, I went to just putting the damn number on there. Yeah, saving some things, right? That was a really bad idea I had. So now we are back to printing full labels, because when you film or you're trying to pick your pairings and you can't remember what the hell it is, sometimes you have to look it back up or sound like a dumbass. In this case, 181007 will not be hard to tell you what it is, because this is another straight pied. So our pieds have grown slow, but we've got our pied army officially coming. I've got another one I'll show you, because we did move one straight to fb70 just due to space. We'll see how she does with that. So I didn't show you that last video. We'll show you that this video. But if we're going to keep score, I'm going to have this pied plus her sister. I'm going to show you in a second, ready to breed. Hopefully next year. They were just on the outside this year, so I didn't do it. We'll have the pied possible yellow belly. That's 3 pieds for keeping score. We'll have the pied we've been breeding forever. That is 4 pieds if we're keeping score. There's another pied over here that that's here right now. It's 5 pieds if you're keeping score. Then I have a a fire yellow belly het pied that will also be ready next year. That'll be 6 pieds if you're keeping score. So I hope you like pied. I've held back one more pied because I just liked her. I need to quit holding back pied. It doesn't really do me any damn bit of good, because I got plenty of them for level of production I want to have on pied. But I know, she's like, I'm exploring my new spot. This is a stressful day. So since it's a stressful girl, we'll just put you back in there. We gave her the top shelf. You want to put your snakes in the top shelf. They're the ones that are the least likely to bite you in the face. Ask me how I know sometime. So this is her sister. Come here, girl. This is a really nice pied. And again, these are both straight pied I'm showing you. So there's no extra genes in here. If you're noticing, I think the color, like through here and here, is very phenomenal. This is not a super high white pied. That's okay. Look at the amount of orange. This almost looks like 2 separate snakes, because this is a little darker. Like this looks like what a normal nice pied looks like. And then from here down, you get this really high orange, almost like there's something else going on in there. There's not, I promise. This is just what a good line of pied looks like. For those of you that think emojis were something else, there's your sad face, or I'll give you a happy face. Maybe. Come on, do I get a happy face? Happy face, eyes closed. Yay! Okay, never pay more for that. That's not genetic. Let me say it again. Somebody started this whole emoji ball thing because they thought it was cute. It is kind of cute. It's a great marketing strategy, but people, It's not genetic. You can't breed a pied that's going to just magically have these every time. It doesn't pass on to 50%. It's not a gene. Pied is a gene. It's not an emoji special gene. It's just a little cutesy thing. Come on, get in there, girl. Anytime they get moved around this much, they do get a little bit jumpy and flighty. Just gotta give her a second. There you go. Cruising around in there, doing good. As we were moving things, I did tweak my leg a little bit, so I'm gonna use a hook, not because the snake's a bitch, just because I don't want to bend over. And this is another one we just moved. Oh, come here, you. And sometimes, if you're like me and you blow your back out and things like that, these tools aren't about getting bit, they're about ease of working. So what are we looking at here? This is a wonky pattern pastel. No, it is not one of the ones we're working on, like one of our possible weird line or new genes or any of that. It's not that. What it is really, it's a scaleless head. And the scaleless head by itself does mess with the pattern and color. So you're going to see some differences. Can I see your head? Oh, there. You can see that little bit missing. So here's a couple identification things on scaleless head. There's not a whole lot of scales missing, but if you look close, we can get some good light there, you might be able to see it. Maybe if I boop your nose this way. Really, snake, you're just not going to cooperate. I told you we were filming today. I talked you up from being shy. The head scales, they're just not uniformly formed. So that's another indicator for a scaleless head. They'll have like a smaller scale or an oddly shaped scales on the head instead of being really nice and defined and clear and equal on both sides. So when you start working with scaleless head and you're looking at the babies, don't look for a huge patch of missing scales. Those are easy to identify. Pay close attention to the pattern of the scales on the head. Also look for the split anal scale. It is an indication, it is not a guarantee. Not all scaleless heads, despite what's being said out there, have a split anal scale. I know somebody's going to say I'm wrong on that. I'm going to have to pull out one that's an obvious scaleless head that has a non-split anal scale. I have those. I've made those. I've also got snakes somewhere that have a split anal scale that are not scaleless head. So it's not always indication, but predominantly most of your scaleless head do have a split anal scale. So it is something to certainly look for. She does have that. She is just not going to cooperate with us at all. You're going to have to just take my word for it on the snake. Well, maybe you can show that. Maybe. Don't you bite me. So right there. See that? That's your split anal scale. It's cut in two. Bifurcated scales we're talking about. And then we look, we can kind of see her head right now. And you might be able to see what I'm talking about on those scales. Not being too even. We'll go ahead and put her back. Come on, girl. Go on in there. Yeah, I know, you're pissed off at the world. So that would be 3 of them. We've got a few more to show you, but they're hiding back here, I do believe. Oh, yeah. They're both in the bottoms. This one's one of them. So this is another one that we just moved over. Ugh. This is another het pied. So again, we're going to be really working our pieds. Our pieds are really getting to size. This is a project that my wife really wanted me to do. So what we're looking at here is a fire yellow belly, 100% het pied created in-house. So we are just long playing, making some pumpkin pieds. May have a little fire in there too, but mostly she wanted the yellow belly pied. It's a whole thing with her nickname when she was a little girl from her dad. So with that, I said, okay, can't do. There's that yellow belly marker. You can see it pretty clear through there, right? Pretty obvious. The fire isn't as obvious in this particular line of fire that I have. It doesn't completely flame a whole ton through there, like a lot of times you see, but it does color a really nice. It is just, it's there. So anyway, I will put her back. You ready to go back, girl? Girlfriend, do. There you are. Top one in the rack. Is this the last one? 2 more. Oh man. So this one is just a straight GHI. And I know everybody wants to pull out 14 gene snakes and show them, and that's not all what we have. We show you everything we have. We've got the snakes with a bunch of genes, But in this case, it's not what got moved around right now. You'll see some more of that in future videos because we're moving our younger ones up as well. But I also think that there is a good point in keeping nice examples of single genes because quality is what makes a difference. And let me tell you something, guys. Despite what is the popular theory out there, one thing we were talking about off camera is how many adult snakes do you see with 7, 8, 9 genes in it? Crickets. Crickets, they're out there. There's not a lot of them. I think it can become problematic, stacking too much sometimes. And also, when you start stacking a lot of genes and you end up with a very muddled looking snake or whatnot, sometimes it becomes hard to tell the quality of the individual genes in there. You know, and that can be problematic. Everyone will say, oh, quality, you know, you put quality into your animals, you're going to get quality animals out. And that's absolutely true. But do you really know if you have a quality example of the gene for what you want to do when there's 5 or 6 genes in there and the thing looks like a pale yellowish mess? You don't. Let me tell you, you don't know, really. You can say you know all day long, but you really don't know if that's a good example of the certain genes you're wanting to look for because they don't really always show up that well when they're that muddled. Here, you can see exactly what kind of GHI you're working with. Now, quality, as we talk about it too, I say always is in the eye of the beholder. Some people aren't going to want a GHI to look like this. Some people are. Some people are going to have a different view of what they like in their GHI. I kept it because it's very, very heavy on the metallic look. Which is what I really like in GHI, is the dark and the metallic look. And I really like how this one really seemed to display that metallic feel to it a lot. And that was why she won my heart and got to stay. Put you here. Here is another one. Now this one here, this is another one where I just wrote 181307. So remember what the hell I got in here is a little bit of a chore. But I think I know. I think I know. So what we're looking at here is a lesser spider ghost. Lesser spider ghost is what's in here, I do believe. I think there could be pastel in there, but I don't know. We know we got lesser spider and ghost. I'll show you the head. I have it written down. I thought I was when I hatched. I'm pretty sure I didn't mark pastel because of that head. I think that pastel head would have been lighter. But I do dig this snake. We kept it back. It's a female for breed purposes. So we have a lesser ghost that we just laid 8 eggs out of, bred to a pastel super inchy vanilla ghost. So as we get her up to size, this will be our 3rd breed size ghost female next year. So we'll be producing more ghost and more combos. We'll be able to produce things like, you know, if we put this pastel lesser ghost or a male or super pastel inchy vanilla ghost, it's going to be really nice. You know, I'm really excited about it. I'm not going to go over all the combos that could be in there. And we'll start getting that place I was just talking about where we won't know if it's a really nice example sometimes or maybe if vanilla's in there and causing that. So what I just talked about, I'm not going to tell you I don't do myself because we all do it. But let's call it what it is for the love of God and quit pretending like we're doing something different. You know, now I do think there's a limit to how many genes I want to stack in a single snake. And that'll be about it right there because I just think that there may be a reason we don't see a lot of adults with so many genes. 1914-08, this is another one we're moving over. All right, so what are we looking at here? This one's in shed. We went ahead and moved it in shed. It'll be fine. So this is a little lemon blast, also scaleless head. As you can see that little dot missing. This is a good example of what I talked about with the scales too. It just aren't very uniform, where on most snakes they are. So you can really get a good view of that and see what I'm talking about. So not a ton of scales missing. Doesn't matter. I wasn't looking for how many scales are missing when I chose my holdbacks. I do have one that has a shit ton missing. It's just a matter of preference. So anyway, Lemon Blast Scaleless Head in-house we produced. Let's check her anal scale, see if she's one of the ones that doesn't have it. She does have a split anal scale. The pink you're seeing is because she is getting ready to shed, but right there you can see that. So we'll put her back. Am I missing any of them, Caleb?
Nope, that's all of them.
That is all of them. So my hope is, for y'all wondering, to be producing a couple things next year that we're not producing this year. My hope is to be producing full-blown scaleless next year, which you're going to see a lot of. You're also going to see more PIED, which isn't anything new. But as we've kind of gone through, we've shown you several things that are scaleless heads, so we're really hoping to get into that game. I should have 2 male scaleless heads ready to breed by then. The one that's our proven breeder, which is also a Lemon Blast scaleless head. And then we have one that, like what we'll put to that one, is going to be a champagne pastel scaleless head. So we can go with some pin scaleless heads, some champagne scaleless heads, some pastel scaleless or full-blown scaleless. Just a lot of really neat shit that can come out in there that I want to play with. So we're going to have a lot of combos there, hopefully with scaleless. So get ready for full-blown scaleless if you like it. If you don't like it, get ready to go. Why do you breathe that abomination and yell at me for a while? Either way, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it because I want to do it. I want to see how it works. Any questions? Caleb?
Of those that just moved, which one's
Yes.
your favorite?
Oh, that's
or
it.
most excited, I should say.
That's a damn good question. You know, that's two separate questions. We'll probably talk about both of them. You know, and my favorites, it's not going to be that impressive. So my favorite one, honestly, out of all that is, where did you go? Probably right. No, it's you. Nope, you're the bitch. Sorry, wrong one. Wrong door. Probably that one. One, I just have a soft spot for PIED. Always have. PIED's one of those things I think anybody who first starts playing around the internet looking at snakes sees this and goes, whoa! And I like my PIED to be very, very ringed. This isn't the best PIED I've ever created. Unfortunately, that one was a male, and I ended up having to part with it, but I like that it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 full bands. So that's probably why I would say this is probably my favorite one. I just really like the look of it. What am I most excited about? That's a whole different question, right? Because obviously I've been there, done that. I'm not that excited about making PIEDs. Excited they're healthy, but it's not like, woo, I made PIEDs. That's a bucket list check off. Already did that. One I'm most excited about is probably this one right here. And you can go two ways. I don't really care about if the pin's in there. It's actually both of the scaleless head ones. It wasn't that one. Where was the other scaleless head one? It's over here somewhere. Both of those. And the reason for that is when Scaleless Head first came out, you know, I was around then. I was breathing then. I don't remember what year it was when that thing came out. And it was one of those things I was like, oh man, I'd really like to do that someday. I remember sitting down there, and I think it was still on snake bites back then, and watching the original video where Brian hit a full-blown scaleless. And, you know, and this is going to be a little set-down fireside chat for a second. Oh, plus I got to rest that damn knee. I don't know why I did. I just like put pressure the wrong way, and it's going to fill with fluid and swell me tomorrow. It'll be all right though. I'll survive. Nothing's bad. It's just tweaked it. One of the things, as everybody always, you know, it's always the fun thing to do, it seems like, in this hobby to bag on certain people. And I'm not, if I got something bad to say about somebody, I usually don't use their name, or I will use an example of what I think is a bad idea, and I don't name them. And I do that because I think as a hobby, when we start pointing fingers and calling names and bitching about each other, it's pretty childish. I mean, we've had people have done that about us, and I think it's funny every time. You know, sometimes they have to then go out and say something, but I don't like to get into that kind of dumb shit, because last time I checked, yep, I'm not a junior high girl. So there's no reason to get into stupid drama. And so I'm not trying to like start a conversation on both sides of the fence. But I want to tell you how I felt. So I remember watching that Snake Bites episode where Brian cut those first scaleless. You know, and here I saw a man that has probably done more in this hobby than I'll ever do, or anybody else is ever really going to do, if you think about it. He really built the social media industry of the hobby. He was a very large hand. You could probably throw Nerd in there as well, and maybe Bob Clark, in building ball pythons to what they were originally, although Bob probably gets more credit for retics. He does balls. So he's established. You know, he's got so many animals, and I am sure when you've got that many, some of the times, you know, he talked in a video once about, this is why I had to give the warning, about, you know, having to like be excited on camera because it's good and there's a name for it, and, you know, and he got a lot of bullshit about that I didn't really think he deserved. But if you want to see true excitement, and watch that old video of him hitting the first scaleless. That man damn near breaks down in tears. He's so excited, and like followed a dream and a guess and a passion and a belief. Got told for a long time that he was wrong and it was dumb, and then he hit it, and it was there, and it proved out. And watching that much excitement come from somebody that I used, whether he knew I was using him or not, to learn from in this hobby and learn from in the social media aspect, really made me want to experience that. Really made me want to hatch scaleless, just because I want to have my moment, even though I know there's going to be Scaleless in there, and I'll get to relive that, watching that and seeing that passion. And I think in general, people are attracted to what's real. That's what I try to film. I try to film how I really am and not put up any front. It's just kind of my style. And in that moment, I don't think anybody can argue whether you like what he did for us, which if you don't like what he did for us, you're an idiot, because we wouldn't have this market without him, or whether you don't like what he's done. Which I think I said that wrong. You should like what he's done if you want to sell ball pythons, because we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. None of us would be doing what we're doing, likely, if those folks didn't lay the foundation of this house. But you will see raw emotion in that. And so I'm very excited to have a part of that and be able to do that here, because I remember sitting at my kitchen table and watching that and just being blown away and having him, feeling happy for him that he finally hit that and that it worked and all of this, and thought, man, how big of a ball sack do you have to put that out there and then do it? Because if it would have went wrong, I felt like he really bared his soul on that, and I appreciate that. So that's why I'm really excited about that. It's a little shout out to following some of Brian's work. I love him or hate him. Y'all should know which camp I'm in. I definitely appreciate what he's done, and that's why I'm excited for that. Anything else?
Nope.
Boy, that got me off on a wild-ass tangent. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.